the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can you please go through roll call?
Councilperson Darrell?
Here.
Councilperson
Here.
Present. Okay. We had a really wonderful Veterans Day celebration today. It was in the middle of the squalls out there, so we brought the celebration into Town Hall today. It was great. It was a full house. Pete did a great job. All of the members of the American Legion and the VFW did a great job as well. They went outside and shot the muskets, so we didn't contribute to the holes of the roof. So thankfully we didn't shoot that up. But it was a really great service, all things considered, with our crazy weather today. We did just have our budget hearing for our 2026 budget. Do I have a motion to approve the 2026 preliminary budget?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. I just want to reiterate for the public, we did pass a motion in September of this year that our kitchen rental has now gone up, that the completions are done at the Senior and Community Center. It is $250 to rent that space out, just so the public knows. We were able to make a lot of revenue off of the Four Seasons TV show that came to town, the Tina Fey vehicle. We made $1,000 a day off of that rental. So basically they paid us for the senior center, the parking lot at the Senior Community Center, and the parking lot at the Highway Department. And then they gifted us an additional $250 as well, which we in turn gifted to the seniors to put for their insurance payments or however they wanted to use it. So we feel pretty excited about that. But just so the public knows, it is $250 to rent that space out. But we are going to be discussing some other community uses today that we can potentially waive that fee or lower it or turn it into an hourly, which we're open to do if you guys have projects that you want to present to everybody. I want to go through some community activities that are coming up this holiday season. So November 29th is going to be a big day in Eldred and Berryville. There's going to be the Eldred... we don't even know what to call it anymore, Frank. What are we calling the Festival of Lights in Eldred?
That's good enough.
Okay, all right.
It's going to be a great time.
The Monteleone Light Extravaganza with Santa Claus will commence at 4:30 on Saturday the 29th. That's the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
There's lots of activities around the Berryville Business District on that day, including like open mics, fire pits, all kinds of different activities. The Chamber of Commerce is putting out that programming, but we will also be doing our 6th annual drive-up tree lighting with WJFF at 7 p.m. on November 29th. This year, we are going to record it and then deliver the recorded package to WJFF. That typically has been like the first winter storm of the season day for the past 6 years. So we're excited to have the opportunity to edit it before it goes to air. But we're excited to partner with them again. And just so everybody knows, it was born pre-pandemic, but the idea was to get people excited to come to Berryville. So we put our live singing and dancing and town merriment on the radio so that people could tune in and be across the street and watch it happen. So that pre-social distancing, people could either be at their homes, but when the pandemic came on, we continued it so that people could tune in across the street to WJFF and enjoy in the comfort of their cars with their families. But we've continued the tradition because the rest of the county's been excited to hear the singing and dancing and how we celebrate the holiday season down here in Berryville. So we're excited to partner with them again. And then we have our local Boy Scout troop continuing the wonderful tradition they started 2 years ago. So December 13th, 2025, they will be placing wreaths on all the veterans' graves all around town. I believe they go to 7 different cemeteries. That'll be December 13th during the day. The Boy Scouts will be coming and placing wreaths on all veterans' graves. It's a wonderful project, and we're really excited for those guys to continue that tradition. I don't see Mr. Joe Barnes here.
Oh, he's not here.
Yeah. Thank you. So, I'm sorry?
I can do his report if need be.
Yeah, do you want to go ahead?
Okay. Crawford Road, chipped, brush, and trees. Oh, I'm sorry, chipped, brush, and trees. Removed speed sign on 97 both ends of town. Airport Road installed grate on catch basin by Hanson Lane. Cleaned up trees from the wind and damage on October 19th. Clark Road graded hill by Tustin down line and spread millings.
Yep.
Regraded. Mowed grass, Cape Project, and Town Hall. Blue leaves with a tractor, mounted blower, Mohegan Lake, Collins Road, Schumacher Pond, Salmon, and Dry Brook Road. Shouldered Collins, Mohegan Lake Road, Sullivan County, loader and shoulder machine, installed banners in Barryville.
Yeah, just so everybody knows too, on, let's see what day it was. It was the 29th of October. We got together and had a commemoration at the site of the Cape Project, which concluded the river access project that was initiated in 2021, designed to improve river access. It was a true labor of love. We had all the partner organizations from Upper Delaware Scenic Byway, the UDC, the Sullivan County Planning Department, the Delaware Company, and most excitingly were our highway guys who did a lot of the grunt work and a lot of the shared service work to make the project possible. So they were honored there on that day as well. John Conway, myself, and Shannon Salento from Sullivan 180 spoke. And we also honored Tommy Ebers, who was a real integral part of that project beginning in 2021. So it was nice. His widow Karen came. It was a really beautiful celebration. We had an unseasonably warm and sunshiny day, and it was a really wonderful thing. The only thing that we missed was Frank from being there, who donated that big, massive piece of coal that used to be in front of the Eldred Preserve, if everybody remembers. I'm sure if you have kids, you probably have a picture in front of it at some point. But yeah, so Frank donated that to the Delaware Company, and they're one step closer to completion. The third phase will be actualized by the Delaware Company, which is a bronze statue of Kate, who is a sort of fictional orphan who would have been part of the child labor movement that established the coal and timber industries at the time, which is what the Kate Project is destined to tell that story for years to come. But we're very excited. We had our Eagle Observation 2 cleaned up, complete with all of the gardens and interpretive signage. Eagle Observation 1, which is parking for the green space at the end of River Road. The DEC project saw us contribute canoe racks and bike racks. And the first leg of that was the public mural space designed by Doreen Warner, which was a Chamber of Commerce project she was trying to raise funds for. And so that was kind of the precipice or initiation for that project in general. So it's been a long labor of love. And Laura, thank you for your help with all the reporting with that. We're still waiting for pictures from Mama & Co., who we contracted for all the gardens. But one of the nicest features, and don't tell the deer this, but there's an edible garden at the end of River Road, on the far end of River Road. So at that green space, it's kind of designed for the neighbors. There's like sage and other plants there. So if you're out walking around, you can always grab a fistful of herbs for your dinner that night as well. But check it out if you haven't. To me, one of the most exciting accomplishments is tying together Eagle Observation 2 with the historic towpath. And so it creates a 2-mile round trip path, and we saw a lot of people really enjoying that activity path this year. So take advantage of it come spring. If you'd like a brisk winter walk, take a walk down there. It's really something great. It tethers it together with the National Park Service path that they've been maintaining for the past, I believe, 15 years that's been down there. It's a really special spot, and recommend everybody check it out. And with that, we have a guest speaker, Miss Abby Watts. Would you like to tell us a little bit about what you're working on? Do you want to come up to the podium? State your name, where you live, and what your purpose is, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Abby Watts. I'm a resident of Berryville. My purpose, good question. So a friend and I, Mike O'Brien, who is unfortunately not here because he's out of town, but he's the director of the Koinonia Summer Camp. And he and I have been talking for a while now about putting together what we're calling a non-religious intentional gathering. So as young people in the community, we have kids, and we love the concept of church, and we personally aren't religious, have nothing against religion, would welcome anyone to the space that we're thinking of who are religious, but we wanted to create a space that we could have gathering and have intentional conversation and share food and music and things like that, just in a space together. So this is like still kind of in the works. We're figuring out what exactly it looks like, but we have a concept for what an hour of time together could look like, and we would welcome anyone from the community to join. We've just been kind of talking with people we know to see if the idea is resonating, and it seems to be. So we would like to propose that we use the senior center space, at least in the colder months. We would hope in the warmer months we could hold this outdoors in some of the wonderful spaces in the area. And also as an opportunity to see some of the different spots in the area and get people out and around. So I don't know if you have any questions or if I summarized that well. But.
Yeah, I have a couple questions. So do we have like a day of the week that you guys are excited about?
Yeah, so as not to interfere with Sunday, and which I think most locals would be attending church on Sundays, we would like to do Saturday at around 2 p.m. So as not to interfere with the farmers market in the warmer months. So that's what we're currently thinking is like a Saturday afternoon. And there might be other times we could do other smaller things, on the side, but for us like a kind of standing monthly gathering, we're thinking Saturday afternoons would be a good time.
I can tell you, Saturday at 2 p.m. clears the VFW meeting, which is at 10 a.m. on Saturdays once a month, so we're clear there. The only other thing is that we sometimes have like showers.
Yeah.
We have parties, anniversary parties, gatherings in general. So we could potentially propose that you guys would come to town hall.
Okay.
It's not as pretty as of a space, but it's a space. It works. We're all here tonight. But we will be making improvements to the space as well, so that'll be exciting. So, I would assume that we could coordinate the calendar. Melissa has a shared calendar with all the board members and all the groups that gather there and utilize the space. So, it sounds great to me. We also have a residual food budget for our community meals that we still have required. So, the town pre-purchased food from Monteleone Gardens, and so we have like fresh produce that we can contribute to any meals. We've just kind of been tapping into that and still have some of that. We still have dry goods that we purchased from PEX that we could also donate there. But yeah, this type of gathering is in the spirit of why we looked after the grant in general, and I love the players at hand. So yeah, I think it could be.
And I did bring some printouts if anyone wants to just read a little more, because I might not have described it as eloquently as just a summary on the sheet. So
Sure.
I'll leave those up.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. First, do any of the board members have any questions?
I have a question. Is this a monthly? You're going to do this monthly?
We're thinking monthly, yeah.
And it's a gathering to a social event based on religion?
So that's the thing. It's not based on religion. So it's kind of some of the concepts of religious gatherings, and that if you think of church, many churches will have kind of a welcoming, and there'll be some service in the form of, a pastor giving a, I don't know.
A sermon.
A sermon, thank you.
But that's not what you're doing.
That's
You're
not- so that's
just
not what we're
trying to
doing,
bring
but-
community together.
Right, so we're basically saying that we see the spirit of community that happens in churches. Because we're personally not religious, it's hard to go to a church and feel connected to the talk about God and other pieces of religion that, again, nothing against any of it, just that's not personally how we connect with but we want those conversations to happen. So, for instance, each month would have a theme. So the first month, the theme would be community. We'd have a couple of songs related to the spirit of community, maybe read a poem about like what does community mean to you, have some reflection time among members that are at the gathering, and then end with food and just kind of hanging out and spending time together. I mean, it's really just to bring people together, and there's like a common theme to just kind of like have something to ground us in, and it's values based, but it's not necessarily religious. Anyone who is religious is welcome to join. It just the common conversation won't be focused on religion.
And it's targeted at families, all ages, but kids will be welcome. It is a space.
Absolutely. So I personally have a 4 and an 8-year-old, and I would hope that they can come and we welcome them we'd have a place where they could kind of like go off and play quietly, but we would hope that the children could be engaged in the singing and
Excellent. Was there a question from the audience?
I was having question and also like kind of information. My question is, how do you intend to pay for the senior center when you use it as a PA meetings or people who you invite? That's the one.
Yeah.
And the second thing is like do you have any kind of electronic website or anything? If not, do you can coordinate with the Living in Value in order to disseminate the dates that you plan to do it and the theme of your meetings or gatherings, I should say?
Yeah.
Or you don't? Or you have your own way, of kind of like reaching people outside of word of mouth and the meetings that we have here?
All great questions. Remind me the first question because I was already
How you intend to pay?
to pay.
So
So
place who will facilitate the senior center?
So for one, we are asking to possibly get, because this is something open to the whole community, this isn't a private event, to hopefully have the space either at a discounted rate or maybe in kind if that's possible. But if not, Mike and I have personally committed to putting some money towards, like, for instance, if the space needed to be rented, we have made that commitment to each other for the next several months. We're trying this out. This is like, we're going to see how it goes, but we've kind of made the commitment to each other to try it for a certain amount of time, so we would put that forward. We also would invite people to, if they are able and want to contribute, like do a small collection. So if we know that food is actually costing us $300 and like that's just too much for the two of us to cover, if anyone could just chip in a few dollars, or make it more potluck style. So a lot of those things we're going to have to figure out as we go in terms of how much things actually cost based on how many people come. Because if there's 20 people, it's a lot different cost food-wise than 100. And then the question about, so we have put together like a sign-up form. I don't have, I'll put these out here, I don't have the QR code on here, but we'll be putting, we haven't advertised anything yet because we don't know if we have a space secured for the cold months specifically. But once we do, we would put up a flyer that have a QR code. So you could go to the QR code and go to a form. We're not again, we're just two friends like looking to do something for the community. So we don't have a website or anything, but through the form, we did set up an email address and we can be emailed, we can be reached through the form, and people can put questions in the form as they're saying, I'm just to express interest. So there's no payment to be
about that, and I don't know, add one more thing. When you rent the space, that involves liability, and your event will be covered by the insurance of the senior center, or the other protection in regard of different events happen. We always hope for the best, but things can happen, you know, and then you gotta be prepared for that. Or you're gonna carry your own insurance for this catering as a LLC or something else.
We're not a formalized organization. We don't have an LLC. We don't have insurance coverage. So, at this point, I don't know what the space accommodates, and I know that you have other events there, so I assume there's some kind of insurance in place. But I'm happy to have that conversation if we need to be careful.
Yeah, so we should probably just have it in public for the sake of transparency. So if somebody has their own insurance, then we just accept their insurance and we put it on the books and that's the record. If somebody doesn't have insurance, if it's like somebody having a children's birthday party, you know, obviously they're not going to take out an insurance policy. We ask for the rental fee, which would be $250. That would be a refundable deposit. So that's probably what we would do for the group is to, you know, I love this idea. It's exactly, you know, why we redid the kitchen, why we put this thing together is to bring people together to eat, to celebrate the community and the connectivity. I think it's a wonderful idea. I do think that for the sake of formality, we should at least have like a deposit on hand from the organization. But I would like to propose to the board that we could accommodate this, and we can waive the usage fee as long as we have a sort of deposit on the books, and you know, we can accommodate it around any other activity. So as long as you guys are somewhat flexible, like if we have dates, you know, sooner rather than later that we can give to you, so you can work around those.
I mean, we're absolutely flexible. We have
And did you say one Saturday a month or every Saturday?
just one Saturday.
Just one.
Yeah.
And did you have
No,
something
that was
else?
my question.
Okay.
And the idea is that it would be, the formal gathering would be for an hour. There'd probably be cushion on either side of that for people to come in and mingle and then eat after. So it would probably end up being like 2.5 hours with all the getting ready and stuff.
Yeah, set up.
Does the board have any other questions?
Not at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abby.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. What is the group called?
The Crowded Table. There's a song by the Highwomen about, that we actually have the quote on the bottom here. I want a house with a crowded table and a place by the fire for everyone.
Do I have a motion to approve the crowded table for a sponsored space with required deposit based on the scheduling of the senior community center?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I believe we should table this and have a discussion.
Pardon?
I believe we should table this and have a discussion. Private discussion.
Before we move forward? Okay. Robert, can you build that into?
We just have some list of why we can use the executive session.
Just would like to have a little more information exactly what.
Is that something we can have in the executive session?
I can't see why not.
So we just have a discussion on this.
Yeah,
You know?
I feel like we should, you know, we should have as much of the conversation in public as possible, especially because we have Abby here.
So what you're looking for is a space for basically for free, for gratis, right? But you're gonna use our facility once a month.
Well, there's 3 dates listed, and she asked for, you know, a discount in kind they might collect to help cover the cost of food. But my sense was that it's open to the entire community.
So it's in line with the sort of programming that we procured the Office of Children and Families grant with, which is for community gatherings to celebrate families and to provide meals. So for that reason alone, I think it's a good program that's in line with the ethos of it, of that grant and actualizing that grant.
Well, it's gonna be using that facility once a month,
During the winter.
Just during the winter.
just during the winter.
Yeah, they're gonna go outside and do it in different spaces throughout the town as the weather gets better. I'm just reading Yes.
That's something we can do.
Yes, I also have to look to see if these dates are free,
Right.
so that would be the only thing.
Would you be flexible with these?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a proposed.
Sure.
The public has questions?
Yes.
So that would only be during the winter months, correct?
So we would like to hold it year round.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna like try it out, see how it goes. But the winter months is when we would need an indoor space, and then we, like, I'm thinking of like Minnesink, where there's the pavilion and the tables, and we could be outside.
Right.
Or like, you know, there's lots of spaces around, and we could do outdoor similar gatherings. And, you know, we love the outdoors too. So.
Well, no, you have Fireman's Field, you have
Yeah, exactly,
the
yeah.
green
Sounds like a
space.
really good idea.
There's a lot of different spaces in town that, you know, would be great to get the close up. Minnesink Battleground is one of the most underrated spaces, and I mean, if you've ever walked those trails, it's like the trails are
Yeah.
carpeted almost in moss. It's great. Yeah, Andrew.
Would the organization undertake the responsibility of the cleanup and the monitoring of the facilities so that the cleanup does not fall upon the responsibility of the town?
Yeah, we'd appreciate that, Abby. That's a great point, Andrew. Yeah, I mean, obviously that deposit is held for people who don't clean up after themselves and who require services of our custodial staff in town. So as long as you would be able to maintain that space, your deposit would carry over for as long as you know, you were utilizing the space and returning it in great condition.
Could I also just mention that the spirit of service, community service, is very much part of our thinking behind this too, so that if there are ways that we can give back in other ways, like upkeep of the grounds of the senior center or other places around the town, those are the types of things we'd like to be able to organize, you know, based on the network that grows from this community, so.
How about our litter plug?
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I know we can count on the Watts family individually for the litter pluck. We've seen you guys out there in the trenches before, but that would be a really wonderful call to action for the group. If you guys could commit to that, I think you might move Councilperson Nigarino to support this.
Well, yeah, that's, that would definitely help make my decision. But you had mentioned something about Fireman's Field. You meant the one in Newland?
Yeah, that she would have to speak to the fire department.
I'm just saying, we can't make that decision.
No, of course
No.
not. No, not at all. We're not promising anything. I'm just saying there's a lot of wonder, like Battleground. You know, that's Minnesink Battleground is managed by the Delaware Company per the Sullivan County Parks Department. So you talk to a combination of John and Deb Conway and Brian Skarsgård from the county.
There's like a form to rent
Yeah,
that
there's a form.
pavilion.
That's vetted per agency, but we'd obviously love to be a conduit. We'll put you in touch with Tim Shad, who is the fire chief over in Newland. If there's any other spaces you'd like to look at or consider, we'd be more than willing to help connect at the very least. Are there any other questions for the board? Okay.
So motion's on the floor, right?
Pardon?
Motion's
Yeah.
already on.
Yeah, the motion's
I
on
made the
floor.
motion.
But I would like to limit it to a, let's say, a trial period to see how it works out.
And then they can come back and we can have a conversation again after the first.
Give them 3 months
Okay,
or so.
So after March, that's all we've asked for.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
So Abby, would you be willing to kind of come and review the project at the April
Yeah.
meeting?
Yeah, and I should also say we want feedback, we want input, like the whole concept of this is that, we want it to be meaningful to the community, so yes, it's a short answer.
Great. And we're still kind of, we received a grant from the DEC for composting as well, and a couple other like sort of food security causes like within this organization, Growing Soul. We're not sure yet if we're going to actualize that grant, so you guys could potentially be a nice conduit to that as well. So we may at some point put you together with Growing Soul organization and say, hey, we have 5 to 10, well-meaning volunteers that could help. I think they're talking about everything from like, having an ongoing bone broth so that anybody could be fed at any time, things of that nature. So maybe the two things could collide, you never know. That could be great. Any other conversation from the board?
Motion's
Okay.
on the table.
Yep, so the motion's on the table, so, all in favor?
So
Wait,
this
we
is,
need a
No.
second.
We did,
So Laura,
this is.
You have to have a second.
I thought Sonia had seconded.
you did?
I'll second it.
Oh, I thought you did, I'm sorry.
Well, I was listening to Tom. Tom wanted to take it.
This is a trial basis for a 3-month period to see how this works out, how it plays out.
Yes, so to amend a motion, so do I have a motion to approve the crowded table for a trial period to utilize the Senior and Community Center, with the only cost being the initial deposit of $250. All other fees would be waived, and we'll revisit this at the April meeting to see how the program can progress in the space.
Okay.
Do I have that motion?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Congratulations, we're excited to work with you on this program, and anything we can do to get the information out, please let us know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Kathy Pacey from the Sullivan County Youth Bureau was going to come, as well as the Sunshine Hall Free Library. I think we talked about this at the October meeting, but basically the town applied for a grant with the Sullivan County Youth Bureau, and we were awarded $5,000 to start intramural sports programs. When we went to the school and we started to try to obtain the space and do the programming, we saw that the calendar at the school gym, the track and field, all those things, it was a very full and abundant calendar. There's also 2 other intramural programs that started, one in Port Jervis for flag football, and one in town here called Holy Hoops that a lot of kids are also spread thin participating in. So we saw like the need for intramural sports to maybe be less than when we originally conceptualized this. We were also presented with Sunshine Hall Free Library had presented us with their deficit of $13,000, and they already have built-in after-school programs. So we went back to the Sullivan County Youth Bureau and said, hey, can we repurpose our grant for $5,000 to the Sunshine Hall Free Library to help with their after-school programming and in children's reading programs? And the resounding answer from the legislature and from the Sullivan County Youth Bureau was yes. So what will take place, and what Kathy I think was going to talk about, is that the library continues their programming as is, and all the expenses that are incurred through the end of 2025, up to $5,000 will be reimbursable. So the town will receive those receipts and records. We will present it to the Sullivan County Youth Bureau. The Sullivan County Youth Bureau will present the town with a check for $5,000. In turn, we'll pass those funds on to the Sunshine Hall Free Library. Does anybody from the board have any questions or concerns with that?
No.
All right. I did want to just give a quick update on the cherry picker schedule. The highway guys, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Veterans Banner Committee have all worked cohesively to come up with a really wonderful schedule. So they'll be taking down the Veterans banners for the month. The Chamber of Commerce provided workers' comp insurance for the highway guys to straighten out all the welcome banners on Route 97. And then that same cherry picker is going to be used under the rental of a private citizen who's loaning that usage to decorate the holiday tree in Berryville in time for the tree lighting. So it's all kind of working out. You'll see this cherry picker floating around town for the next 2 weeks, but it's already been successful, and it's great when community can get together and share services and share tools when we need them. So my advice to everybody would just say what you need, say what you have, and get together and help each other whenever possible, because it's working in this instance. So thank you to everybody for your cooperation and coordination on that. Tom and Sonia, can you give us a bit of a buildings update?
Okay, as far as the courthouse, we have all the bids in now. We just have to level the bids. So we should probably be giving out, rewarding the bids to the contractors, I would say, by December. All right, let's shoot for the beginning of December, and we could get that project underway. As far as the town hall here, I'm waiting for Laura to come up with our quote on for the microphones, and then
Yeah, I'll get that to you as soon as it comes in.
okay, and then whatever we have left we'll use to put into the courthouse. I mean, into the town hall. As far as the community center, as well as the emergency building, there's been a high energy use for some reason. I'm trying to figure it out. We've been getting notifications from NISAC, so I have to make sure that the thermostats have been turned down. I turn them down, people turn them back up. It becomes an issue. The cost of electricity is really gonna kill us, I think, this year. I hope we're within budget.
Is there a lock on the thermostat?
There is a lock, but the one at the community center, somebody keeps breaking it.
It's broken, yeah.
Yeah, it's an issue.
The only way I feel like we can combat this issue is Melissa is building a PDF of like general usage for the rentals at the community center and also for groups. So if we could incorporate like a photograph of the thermostat and let people know when their groups are in there using it, they return it to a certain temperature. Obviously closing windows, things of that nature. I walked in after that rental on Saturday, and I know, the propane was going in, it's a commercial stove, so they opened a window, but if you have an open window and you have the heat on, that's just gonna cost us money. So we have to do a sort of checklist of like turning things off, like just basics on the rentals.
Maybe that's what we should make part of it, is a little checklist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good idea.
Part of the
as part of the
application.
application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the community center, there's two sources of heat. There's the mini split, and then
There's the furnace heat.
There's the
the
oil.
Yeah.
and they work against each other. We locked both of them down, but they changed both of the locks twice already.
Yeah. Melissa, can you also give us a report on, so we are going to, we feel, because now that we've actualized the repairs at the senior and community center, that's gonna make a better emergency building for everybody. Town hall will from now on be used as like central command for the law enforcement, for emergency services, and for the town board to be able to communicate with NYSEG and other agencies throughout the state. So we will start to host any emergency like power outages at the senior and community center. So we are going to get Wi-Fi there. It's a public safety issue at this point. We're trying to work with Frontier, because we found that Frontier is hardwired, and sometimes when the power goes out, Spectrum doesn't work because it can't get a digital connection to the boxes, whereas these are hardwired. But Melissa found that they're offering us DSL at a certain rate, but not the fiber optic. But the fiber optic still does work.
But they don't have it in there yet.
But they don't
so
have
they have to install it. They are supposed to get back to me hopefully tomorrow or Thursday on what it would cost to do the fiber optics.
And what was the rate that they're offering for the DSL?
$54.99.
Can people stream on DSL? Can you stream like
It's
movies,
very difficult.
movies and TV on DSL? I don't think you can. Right?
It's very difficult.
Not sure.
Because part of it would be to actually, utilize the space, and we have a smart TV there, so we want seniors to be able to watch movies or whatever, children as well. Like anybody in the space, we want them to be able to use the internet.
Because that's the whole point of it. We're not going to have cable. They need to be able to stream
Yeah.
so that it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to go with DSL or Spectrum, but I think DSL. We're going to try to go with fiber optic through Frontier, still the best option, as long as it's cost effective. We were trying to get a mesh network to pick up the signal from the highway garage, but it was brought to our attention that it is a public safety issue at the last meeting, so we'd like to research that and actualize it. Microphone quotes, Christmas lights, we want to light this place up blazing for the holidays.
We will. This year we'll be installing Christmas lights on the town hall. Probably next week we'll get it taken care of. The lights have been purchased, so this place is going to glow for the month of December. This last year, I think with a few complaints, we didn't have lights on the building, but this year we'll make up for it. And that's it.
Okay, did we ever get a quote from Cintas, the highway uniforms?
We're working on that.
We're still working on it?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Tom sort of gave us an update on the courthouse grant. Basically, the process is there's a preliminary application. We've been working with Ways and Means to vet our costs. So now that we have the costs identified, we're able to bring that back to finalize the preliminary application. Once those preliminary fees are okay, and we've chosen our vendors, we've put out the bids, we've received all those bids. Once we get it actualized, then we'll start the approval of the legislative part of the contract. So then the board would go back to the assembly would vote on the application, and then we would talk about reimbursement as we actualize and pay those fees. So that's why it takes, sometimes up to 2-3 years to be reimbursed for these grants, but we've learned a lot from the Office of Children and Families grant that Laura worked very hard on with me to get the multiple quotes, to submit them once, get the application, submit the application again, then get the okay to submit the application a third time on the back end of the state's database and system. So I feel like we're getting good at this. We're really getting our stride. So thank you everybody for your focus and concentration there. We're working on the closing out of our Sullivan 180 Silver Feather Award grant from 2021. We're just waiting on some pictures from our partners there. And yeah, we're in good shape. I think we also got the update on the town hall grant as well. Laura and Tom, do you want to give us an update on code?
Well, we did have a replacement printer delivered today because it broke yesterday. So had a really quick turnaround. We're going to be looking to upgrading the computer systems in there and working on the Wi-Fi in terms of technology. It's been a big year in code. We've had upgrade to technology. We have a new iPad for our code enforcement team so that when they're out, they can take pictures and it's sent back to the internal database, which is called IPS. We have a lot of interest in code enforcement training, which is to the benefit of the town for the now and the future. So we've had Ted Knitter, who just recently completed training. He's working with Fusco currently. And so we have someone who's trained and qualified in that office finally 5 days a week, which is really exciting. We also have a part-time code clerk who's currently training, another code enforcement trainee who's just starting her classes in buildings. Also our planning and zoning board secretary. So it's really nice to see overlap in terms of when applications come into code, how they might be transferred to planning and zoning, and how those records are kept, files are kept. We now have code enforcers who can clerk and clerks who understand code. And so this is really exciting in terms of turnover and job responsibility. There's a really nice team gelling there, and so we're hoping to improve. Website. We'll be updating and contact information, forms. So there's a really unique set of skills there, which we're really excited about. The team also has your printouts from IPS in your packets. We had missed last month because our code clerk was out for leave, and so you have a full year of open violations, all of that in your packets. Tom, do you have anything to add that I missed?
October 19th will be a violation hearing date, so.
At the court?
At the court.
Thank you.
October 19th.
Confirmed?
That's-
No, November?
I mean, November 19th.
Okay.
That's on Wednesday.
That was the rescheduled court date for all
Yes.
those violations. Yeah.
November 19th
Yes.
at 4 p.m.?
4 p.m.
Okay.
I will be in attendance.
With some of the outstanding violations. Thank you. I think that's all I have.
Yeah, no, we're excited too, and I don't know if people saw on the budget lines during the budget hearing too. The price of Fusco's services went up about 10%, which is pretty nimble, and because basically I really love the position that we're in right now with Fusco, because we've been able to hire our own local residents to come in and train and become code enforcers. And that means that Al Fusco is paid for Ted Nutter and for Erica Schneider to get their code training, which is great. He pays them for their on-site work while they're in training to be here with us at Town Hall. And then, it gives us a buffer so that we can make sure that these people are the right fit for our community, and we also don't have any liability for their work. So the onus of the liability is placed on Fusco Engineering. If there's any mistakes made, if there's any lawsuits that happen, our local people are covered by the big umbrella of Fusco Engineering. So it's a really ideal situation because we have a local conduit. They can build relationships, they can make things happen, but we don't have the extra liability of insurance or the extra burden of if somebody doesn't work out. Ms. Burrell has taken on a huge chunk of the planning and zoning board secretary work and clerking, even in between clerks over the last couple of years as we rebuild that office to what it is now. We're really proud of it and very excited about it, but I feel like this is the most ideal situation that we could come up with, and we're grateful to have them as partners at this point. And thank you for all of your extra work with technology and seeing this through and training. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
With that, we are going to break into executive session. If I have that motion to discuss potential litigation. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? It's now 7:47. Please enjoy the derelict refreshments we threw together for you guys. It's not the Mary O'Neill Culture Club, but it's something. There's It's 8:09. Do I have a motion to return?
I'll make that.
motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved.
Have that one more time, who's first?
I
Sonia?
motion.
Okay.
Second.
And just for the public's information, no decisions were made during executive session at this time in regards to our potential litigation. Melissa, can you go back and read the correspondence from the emergency services, please?
Yes. The ambulance, 23 dispatched, 2 canceled, 21 completed, 100% response rate, 189 man-hours for calls, 20 hours of training, for a total of 209 hours for the month. Human Fire Department. Emergency call 6, 10 drills, 3 meeting training hours, and 1 miscellaneous, for a total of 20 hours for the month. Highland Lake Fire Department, 130 and a half man-hours, 27 training hours, 26 work night hours, and totaling 351 and a half hours for the month.
Great, thank you so much. Okay. All right, so we have a resolution here that I'd like to read aloud. This is a resolution granting a one-time administrative paid leave to Deputy Town Clerk Melissa Denlinger. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Highland recognizes the dedicated and professional service of its Deputy Town Clerk Melissa Denlinger, and whereas the Town Board pursuant to Town Law number 27 is authorized to fix the compensation and benefits of the town employees, and whereas the town wishes to extend a one-time administrative grant of paid leave during the upcoming holiday period as a gesture of appreciation for services rendered and to allow the deputy clerk additional time with family during the holidays. And whereas this one-time paid leave benefit is fully covered within the town's 2025 adopted budget and will not occur automatically in future years. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Highland hereby grants to Deputy Town Clerk Melissa Denlinger paid administrative leave for the period beginning Wednesday, December 24th through and including Thursday, January 1st, 2026, with her regular duties to resume on Friday, January 2nd, 2026. And be it further resolved that this action is a one-time recognition and shall not constitute a change in the town's general personnel policies or the establishment of a new reoccurring benefit. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Sonia first, Tom second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Melissa, thank you for all of your hard work and dedication. This is something that we obviously don't take lightly, and you've really held everything together in such a meaningful way on behalf of taxpayers. So thank you for all of your hard work.
Thank you to the taxpayers also. I appreciate it.
Okay. Do I have a motion to pay general abstract number 10-2025, claims 336 through 370 in the amount of $24,247.45?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any abstentions? So moved. Do I have a motion to pay highway abstract number 10-2025, claims number 107 to 115 in the amount of $7,612.62? Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Do I have a motion to pay Eldred Streetlights number 10-2025, claim number 10 in the amount of $149.83? Do I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. The resolution, the town of Highland at the board meeting on November 11, 2025, introduced and passed the following resolution. Whereas modifications are required to the 2025 general budget, now therefore be it resolved that the following budgetary transfers be made to the 2025 general budget from A 960 appropriation, A 3620.1 safety inspections, personal safety, 7,353.33. A 5010.4 highway administration contractual, 750. A 830.4 research and study, $1,109.86. A 8160.41 code home cleanup, $2,314. A 8810.1 cemeteries personal services, $700. A 9710.7 bond interest, $2,090. A 960 appropriations, A 1320.4 auditor contractual, $1,045. A 1680.4 data processing contractual, $1,315.52. A 19.4 unallocated insurance contractual, $4,603.34. A 3620.4 safety inspection contractual, $7,353.33 for a total of $14,317.19. Do I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. With that, do we have any public comment? I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for participating in the budget process. We really appreciate all your input, and thank you for being here. Thank you to Sullivan County Sheriff's Deputy for attending our meeting as well. I'm glad we didn't need your services more tonight. We appreciate your help. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the
Happy
meeting.
Thanksgiving. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that
Do I
motion.
have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.